Hey guys, tonight I'll review the game Ace Combat Assault Horizon. This is the latest game in the Ace Combat series, so it's a flight sim. But it's a departure from the rest of the games in this series. However, as you'll find, I'm mostly in favor of the new changes to this game. First I'll review the story. Unlike the other Ace Combat games, it's set in our own world instead of an imaginary world, which is definitely a bonus for me. The fact that they make Russians the enemies is unoriginal, but there is a twist, as you'll see later in the game. But overall, I'm in favor of the more realistic story. Now I'll review the graphics, the sound effects, and the music. These are all very, very well done in my opinion. They are slick and realistic. Well, that's for the graphics and sound effects. As for the music, it fits accurately the mood of the game and where you are and what's going on in the game, etc. I also read on Wikipedia that not only are there real towns in this game, but it's so realistic that according to Wikipedia, the owners or the makers of this game did satellite imagery to really make each town realistic. Goes to show you the effort that Namco Bandai put into making Ace Combat Assault Horizon. Now I'll talk about the gameplay. I found it really exciting. There are many new features in this game. The most noticeable one is when you're in a fighter, there's something called dogfight mode, and if you approach an enemy correctly, in a cinematic, your airplane will get right behind the enemy airplane, and you'll be able to get a better shot at it, especially if you can fill the circle up and then fire missiles. Machine guns also work very well during this mode too, so it really gives you a lot of power over your enemies. And unlike the other Ace Combat games, you're no longer restricted to being in fighters. You now will be in helicopters, bombers, gunships, and operating railguns. The GameSpot review rated this game a 5.5 out of 10. And I think this game is much better than that. One way that GameSpot marked this game down was they said it's repetitive. I respectfully disagree with that because in addition to all the different vehicles that you can control in this game, the tasks or submissions, that I like to call them, are just different enough that they stay interesting. Another way GameSpot marked this game down was that they said it was too easy. However, I kind of disagree with that too, because I think it's both easy and hard at the same time. Some of the ways in that this game is easy, all the features like the dogfighting mode I was talking about, and while you're in the bomber, they make it easy for you to bomb the targets because of the radar equipment you're shown on the screen. The damage system is much like a first-person shooter like Halo or a third-person shooter like Gears of War. So if you take damage, you can actually retreat and your airplane will begin to heal itself. Stay away long enough and your airplane is restored to full health. Also, not only are there many checkpoints in this game, so you likely don't have to go back so far if you fail, but the game actually auto-saves for you, so you don't even have to repeat the whole mission if you decide to turn the game off after you're done playing for a while. Now for some of the ways that this game is hard. The missions are long, some of them take over 20 minutes to complete, and some of them even longer than that. Also, harkening back to all the features in this game, there are many controls you must quickly learn and master in order to take down the enemy, and the game only teaches you these controls once. So you'll definitely have to be on your toes for these learning lessons. You can't just skip past them. Another way that this game is hard is that, let's see, the submissions or the different tasks in each big mission really get your blood pounding because the story makes it seem like these little submissions are critical, and they are, because you don't have much time to complete them, like only about a minute or so before the enemy successfully captures what they wanted to do. The other thing I found tougher about this game compared to Ace Combat 6 is that if you play the free mode, again you're given rankings, but I found that the ranking system in this game is much tighter and stricter than it was in Ace Combat 6. Anyway, in conclusion, I think this game is definitely worth a shot, especially if you're a fan of the Ace Combat series, or even a fan of airplanes or flight simulators in general. I think you'll really enjoy this. Whereas GameSpot rated this game a 5.5 out of 10, I think this game easily gets an 8.5 out of 10. The only thing I wish is that there were more missions, and that more varied locations were used. Because I noticed that many of the missions are like in, say, Africa, like there are like a group of them there, and a group of them in, say, Eastern Europe. I wish it was a little more scattered across the world. Although, I don't know how well that would work with the story. But anyway, I rate this game an 8.5 out of 10, and I would definitely recommend this game to flight sim fanatics. Alright, thank you for now.